It begins, not with gunfire, but with a normal day. Morning breaks over the hills of Rwanda. Children run barefoot through narrow paths. Mothers prepare food. Fathers head to work. There is no sign that in a few days, this same land will become a graveyard. Rwanda was never meant to be divided like this. For generations, people lived side by side, Hutu, Tutsi, not as enemies, but as neighbors. They shared language, they shared culture, they shared life, until outsiders arrived. When Belgium colonized Rwanda, they didn't just take land, they reshaped identity. They drew invisible lines between people, declared one group superior, and handed out identity cards that labeled human beings as if they were categories, not lives. That decision would echo for decades. Years later, independence came, but freedom did not heal the division. It deepened it. Power shifted to the Hutu majority, and with it came anger, years of resentment, quietly waiting for something to ignite it. That spark came on April 6, 1994. A plane fell from the sky. Inside it, the president of Rwanda, Juvenal Habyarimana. No one knew exactly who shot it down, but within hours, it didn't matter, because the killing had already begun. That night, the roads changed. Checkpoints appeared. Armed men stood in the dark, waiting. Names were called, identity cards checked, and suddenly, your name, your face, your identity became a death sentence. Militias like the Interahamwe moved with terrifying precision, but they were not alone. Ordinary people were pulled in. Neighbors were told to kill neighbors. Friends were told to prove loyalty with blood. Some refused and died for it. Others gave in. Imagine hiding in your own home, hearing footsteps outside, voices you recognize, people you greeted yesterday, now calling for your death. Families ran, to churches, to schools, to anywhere that felt safe. But safety no longer existed. Church doors were broken down. Crowds were slaughtered where they prayed. Children clung to their parents. Parents made impossible choices, who to save, who to leave behind. And all the while, a voice played on the radio, cold, repetitive, dehumanizing, calling Tutsis cockroaches, telling people where to find them, encouraging the killings as if it were a duty. Hate, broadcast into every home. The world knew. The United Nations had peacekeepers there. They saw the bodies. They heard the screams, but they were told not to act, not to intervene, not to escalate. And so, they watched. Countries with power looked away. They avoided the word genocide because calling it what it was meant they had to respond. And response was inconvenient. For 100 days, this continued, day after day, night after night. The smell of death in the air, rivers carrying bodies, silence replacing entire communities. And then, it stopped. Not because the world stepped in, but because the Rwandan Patriotic Front advanced and took control. Led by Paul Kagame, the killing ended, but the damage was beyond words. When it was over, nearly 1 million people were gone. Not soldiers, not fighters, mothers, fathers, children, entire families erased. And the survivors? They were left with memories, of faces, of voices, of moments they could never forget. And a question that still lingers, how did we become this to each other? But Rwanda did something extraordinary. Instead of breaking completely, it chose to rebuild. Not perfectly, not easily, but deliberately. Today, there are no official labels of Hutu or Tutsi, only Rwandans. Still, the scars remain. In memorials, in silence, in the stories passed down, because some things must never be forgotten. This is not just Rwanda's story, it is a warning of what happens when division is fed, when hate is normalized, and when the world chooses silence. Because in 1994, for 100 days, humanity looked away, and a nation paid the price. If you enjoy the story and want more stories like this, subscribe to the channel at Africa Folktales, Movies and Storytelling.